I got tinnitus, so I tried to swim yesterday and I was like not diving my head in, which is the worst thing because I'm like a seal. I'm like, I want to go to the ocean, back to my home. It's been some weird weeks. I'm listening noises on the roof and we checked everything and there was nothing. So I'm like, we're haunted. We are fucking haunted. Like everything is like very amplified. It's like even if it's like a rat, it's like it's wearing fucking metal boots, like stomping.
That's scary, like footsteps and stuff, and you don't have like upstairs neighbors. It's like, oh, what is
I
happening?
have some unknown upstairs neighbors. I thought it would be a good idea to talk about our favorite artists, the artists that have inspired us, which is so hard, isn't it? Like to pinpoint exactly the influences.
Yeah, so I have like a few artists in mind, but the first one that I'd love to share, it was like my first sort of pivotal moment coming into digital fashion. And I was like, oh, do I want to do this? Yes or no? And I think everyone who's sort of dabbled in digital fashion definitely knows her. Her name is Stephy Fung. She is essentially like the OG of not only creating digital fashion pieces that are very unique to her, so she sort of combines her love of sort of streetwear and sort of casual wear along with her heritage, her like Chinese heritage. So that sort of combination and like the way she presented her work really resonated with me. But not only that, but also she does like weekly live streams where she goes live on Twitch almost, I think, every week. When I first started getting into it, there was like no information out there. No one was putting any sort of like tutorials. Maybe there were like one or two videos from like Clo 3D, Marvelous Designer, and then there were a few gaming people and a few sort of like 3D modeling people who had like time-lapse videos sort of thing. But other than that, pretty much no one had how-to videos of how to create like a full-on world 3D wise, with the main art being a digital fashion piece. I think she's one of my biggest inspirations. I always come back to and like I always reference already in this podcast for like 4 or 5 times.
I also love what Steffi does. I love artists who bring awareness to their heritage and she does it in a very smart way. Do you feel like Steffi has influenced your art? And if she has also helped you embrace like part of your heritage as well?
First one, I don't think like my art itself, like artistically, I don't think so, simply because we come from very, very different backgrounds. So she comes from a non-fashion background. She comes from like motion graphic 3D creation. So her original strengths were in like 3D creating and motion graphics animations, whilst for me it was strictly traditional fashion. So I don't think there were that many sort of similarities like colorations there per se, but the heritage side definitely. Like I've always wanted to do more, like bring my heritage more into my art. I'm still working on it, definitely, but just seeing her and how she sort of interprets it and brings it into her art is definitely inspirational, as you mentioned earlier as well. And just finding like my version of that, it's been just like it was interesting. It's, you know, it's not something you need to overthink and like sort of like just go over and over. It's just like, oh, I'm going to take this part that I resonate from my heritage and I'm just going to try and put it into my art and see how it goes. And if it doesn't go, you can find another part. And you know, it's trial and error, and she does that very nicely with like silhouettes and fabrics and colors and just references all throughout all her work. So that definitely is inspiring and is what I love about what she creates.
I can see how you are embracing your culture by the pieces you're doing. You're also mixing things up. You're doing it in your own way. You're taking kimonos and traditional garments. You are creating your own patterns, which are like really colorful. I can also see in some of your pieces the Y2K and 90s influence at the same time. So I love that mix. It's both bold and ethereal.
That really means a lot because it's kind of where I am, I think, with my art. Just trying to figure out what my next steps are, where to go from here. So
That's always a struggle.
tell me about it. Maybe we can do another full episode of just that. To be honest, it needs to be talked about because I don't think enough people do. But sort of going back to the first question, I think her process is very, very unique of going from claw and creating the 3D garment and then taking it into Cinema 4D, which I don't think, especially when I started looking into things, no one was doing that. So just seeing that process and the pros and cons of working with such a high-end 3D program, I guess, like Cinema 4D, but all pros and the cons was eye-opening. What about you? Who's your sort of like first pick?
Peter Mohrbacher, I think is his name. He is like a visionary and surrealistic artist. He has done a series that's called Angelario, and it's like different archangels that are correlated with specific zodiac signs. They're like so fantasy based, which is so my thing. It's like they could be characters in a game. It mixes also that kind of ethereal, dark, spiritual aspect. So it's like two of my favorite worlds together. It has been one of my favorite artists even before I started 3D when I was doing digital paintings.
That's super interesting. Like, how can you see the inspiration like coming through in your work?
It's so hard to pinpoint that. I think he goes beyond what is normal in a way, in the shapes, in the composition, but still keeping it balanced. I'm not keeping it balanced, by the way. Something changed in my mind with his influence. Like I approach art differently.
I love it. I love it. This is amazing. Like, I love the how are they made? How are they created?
He's a digital painter. He does that like in Photoshop. I'm not sure if it's Procreate, but yeah, I think in Photoshop.
I'd love to like see the background sort of like concepts behind them, like how he came to draw them and like the themes behind them and stuff. What drew you to him? Or like how did you find out about him actually? Let's start there.
I don't exactly remember because I was quite young. It was like when I was a teenager. He has been doing this for quite some time. I think it was either Tumblr or Pinterest. So it just really spoke to me. I was like, this is my kind of stuff. Like, even though I wasn't drawing that kind of stuff then, I think maybe it was like a catalyst figuring out how to go towards that direction that I want to express that I didn't know how to do that visually.
You mentioned like zodiacs, right? Are these each like different zodiac signs or are they just overall inspired by like the zodiac lore? Is that the right word? Lore? I don't know, but
yeah, so if I'm not mistaken, he has done like a whole series with angels. This is going to be like very witchy. Each planet has invocations. I don't know from where he drew exactly the inspiration, astrological magic and their angels. I didn't know it back then. I learned that like this year, I think.
oh, you were just attracted visually to the pieces and it just turns out to be aligned to what you like.
Yeah.
That's super interesting. It's giving vibes for me of sort of like conceptual art, concept artists for like movies, especially sort of sci-fi slash fantasy concept art. So they do like, you know, they draw the whole sort of scene and how it visually will look, and then the director kind of goes yes, no, what, and the camera will come in here and the lighting, whatnot. But obviously these are way more detailed and they're like finished.
That's why I like him. I think it's like it's so mysterious and it leaves you hanging in a way. Like that creature is in a world that we don't know, like even more advanced, but like a Marvel universe, but in a more like mystical way, maybe. Doctor Strange, it redefines the concept of an angel. It's not a classic angel.
Yeah, it's not just halos and wings and white long costumes. No, yeah, I agree.
Or that massive eye. Real depiction of what an angel is.
these would be so cool to like be inspired by and like create 3D art from as well. I reckon it'll be a fun one to do. And some of these like costumes are really cool. I love how they look. And as you mentioned before as well, because not every detail is like fully defined, it would be really interesting to be like, I think this part looks like this, or like this part. Really cool to
Yeah.
in this way sort of thing, like just having discussions
Yeah.
like that, even if we don't make it in 3D, would be really cool.
Yeah, like a subjective view of what is that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.